Hey guys, it is Danny and welcome to this update video on the tropics. And so in this video, we're going to be taking a look at our disturbance that is present in the main development region that is highlighted, as well as post-tropical cyclone Sam, and we look at the potential for a wave that is located in the main development region to develop into a tropical cyclone. And so before I go into details, Alright, so let us kickstart things with that disturbance that is highlighted. And so on the 5-day outlook from the National Hurricane Center, we're seeing here that we have this disturbance which is highlighted in yellow. So as of right now, it is given a low 10% chance to potentially develop into a tropical cyclone during the next 5 days. And so the chance is so low because conditions ahead of it don't appear to be really conducive to enable development or intensification. And so that chance is still going to be lingering around. So potentially when it is going to be making its way close to the southeastern US and curving out to sea, we might see a little bit of improvement, but that chance is very low. And so this thing here is not likely to make its way into the southeastern US. Fortunately, it's possible that this is going to be curving out to sea before getting a chance to move inland. And so now let's go ahead and take a look at the cone forecast for post-tropical cyclone Sam. And so we're seeing here that the cyclone currently has sustained winds of 80 miles per hour, still hurricane force, and it is a powerful extratropical cyclone, and it is accelerated northward at 23 miles per hour, so moving relatively quickly here. So weakening is anticipated as time goes by, and so this is expected to move a little erratic as we head into the latter part of this week, and eventually we will have this thing here making its way just to the south of the eastern portion of Iceland. And so those areas might experience probably some gusty winds as a result of the passage of Sam. And so fortunately, aside from that, it's not going to be bringing anything very major. Alright, and so now let's go ahead and take a look at that wave that I mentioned earlier. And so here we have that cluster of shower and thunderstorm activity associated with this tropical wave here. And so our models, especially the GFS, has been hinting towards something trying to develop potentially from that wave. So let us go on to that forecast map. And so this is a map showing the isobars, and the isobars are the black lines. They are lines of equal pressure, and when you see them being in a circular manner with the pressure below 1013 millibars, that is a low pressure system and can be or tropical cyclone. So that is what we're looking for here. So this is the 7th of October. So again, this is just a prediction. Nothing that you see here is guaranteed to take place. And so here we have GFS showing that moisture being present in the main development region. So by the 12th of October, we have GFS showing a 1010 millibar low pressure system being in the vicinity of the Lesser Antilles. And so as we head to Thursday, the 14th of October, 2 days later, we're seeing here that we have the pressure decreasing. And once you have a decrease in pressure, that indicates that the system is getting stronger. So here we have a 996 millibar low pressure system, and this is potentially a tropical storm at this point, being in the vicinity of Puerto Rico. And then as we head to Friday the 15th, we have GFS showing that the system is going to be making its way up to the northeast while intensifying. So this is not something that is impossible, but we really have to wait and see what's going to happen, because conditions are going to determine whether we have development or not. And as of right now, that area is not even identified as an area of interest by the National Hurricane Center, but things can change at any time. And so now let's also go ahead and take a look and see what our ICON model is expecting of this. So this is by Saturday the 9th of October, so the end of this week, and ICON is showing a 1009 millibar low pressure system being just to the east of the Lesser Antilles, and it doesn't really show much develop from this area of low pressure opposed to what the GFS is anticipating. And so what the GFS model is showing does not have to be the outcome in terms of the system here, but we'll see what happens with it as time goes by. And so as I spoke about conditions, let us go ahead and take a look at them. And so first up is the sea surface temperature map. And so we see here that the Caribbean is really the warmest part of the Atlantic basin right now, especially the northwestern Caribbean. We're seeing some 30 degrees Celsius in that region, but for the most part, most of the main development region the Gulf of Mexico in the vicinity of the Bahamas, ocean temperatures are supportive enough to enable tropical cyclone development. And so let us go ahead and now take a look at the wind shear. So the different colors indicate the favorability of the shear. We have the green, that means favorable, the red, that means unfavorable, and the yellow, that means neutral. So when you see a lot of unfavorable shear, which is currently present, as you can see on this map, it indicates that conditions are quite hostile and won't be too supportive of any tropical cyclone development. So that is also the reason that disturbance that is located near the Bahamas is not given a higher chance to develop, because we see a lot of unfavorable shear in the vicinity of the cyclone and ahead of it. So much intensification is not anticipated. But as for that wave, if we have conditions becoming a little bit more conducive, then it could really have a chance to develop. And so finally, let's go ahead and take a look at the Saharan dust. And so the different colors indicate how dense the dust is. So the light yellow indicates that the dust is not very plentiful, but as we head to the dark orange and the red, there is a lot of dust in those regions, and that is the hostile environment that prevents tropical cyclone development, because it is dry air which prevents moisture, and tropical cyclones need moisture in order to develop and intensify. And so as of right now, we also have the dust blanketing portions of the Eastern Caribbean, especially the Lesser Antilles, and it is probably inducing some dry conditions there. So it's likely that those areas are not really experiencing any rainfall or little rainfall, as well as all that haze. So we really have to wait and see what is going to be the eventual outcome in terms of that wave, and if we do have it developing, potentially becoming a tropical cyclone, the next name to be used for this hurricane season is the final name on the list, which is Wanda. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we have development of this and potentially for that other disturbance that is identified. So we really have to wait and see what's going to happen, but there is the likelihood that we will probably have another storm or two before this hurricane season officially ends. And for the month of November, we generally have systems develop in the South Caribbean and make their way northward. So we have to wait and see what is going to be happening as we progress throughout the rest of this month and eventually into next month, which is the final month of the Atlantic hurricane season. And so guys, that is really it for this update video on the tropics. And so if you found it to be quite informative, please give a thumbs up, and you can also share thoughts with me in the comments or ask a question. I will try to respond as best and as soon as I can. And just remember to always be weatherwise, and of course I will keep you updated as time goes by.